Kahala on this Aloha Friday. It is a first alert weather day as we have high winds and dry conditions in our forecast, the perfect ingredients for critical fire weather. A red flag warning remains up through Saturday evening for most of the state, and emergency officials are urging residents to be vigilant and do their part to protect themselves and their properties. Here's Guy Hagi with our first alert forecast.
Aloha on this Friday. It is a first alert weather day because there is a red flag warning for all leeward areas across state as well as interior spots of Hawaii Island for the critical fire conditions that are expected to develop. So if a fire were to break out, it could spread very quickly. So know that as you head out the doors. Now, there are a few showers out there, not a lot, not enough to get us out of that current situation. Drought across the state persists as well. Although it's going to be a beautiful day today with lots of sunshine, remember the winds will be very gusty today.
Thank you, Guy. Meanwhile, Hawaii County Mayor Kimo Alamido has signed an emergency proclamation banning outdoor burning and open flames in Hamakua, North Hilo, North and South Kohala, North Kona, Ka'u, and Puna, while the red flag warning is in effect. Violators face fines of up to $1,000.
We're not expecting people's lives to shut down. It's really that heightened awareness that fire conditions are very rich for a fire that can grow fast and big, and more so than usual. So
as we get the information, we make determinations about the best way to alert people and notify people, and try not to over alert, because we don't want people that aren't in affected areas to get on the road and clog up those roads.
Should evacuations be necessary, officials say they'll send targeted alerts. County officials are coordinating with state and federal partners, and staff, aircraft, water tankers, and fire engines will be on standby. Hawaiian Electric is also monitoring conditions in case power needs to be shut off in high-risk areas. Honolulu police are looking for the gunman in a drive-by shooting in Kalihi overnight. Police say no injuries were reported, but they have classified it as an attempted murder investigation. Officers were called to the intersection of Huff-Tay Lane and North School Street at around 10:30 last night on a report of shots fired. A 35-year-old man and a 53-year-old woman told police a car pulled up next to them while they were driving, and a man fired a silver handgun, hitting the hood of their car. He then took off. The vehicle is described as a gray sedan. There's no description of the suspect, but we do know he is a male. If you have any information about this case, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. And we have new details on a deadly crash in North Hilo yesterday. It killed a woman and injured several children, including a baby. Police are now saying alcohol may have been a factor. Police say a 43-year-old man crashed into a Subaru. Police identified the victim as 47-year-old Anina Masaichi of Kailua Kona, who was unresponsive at the scene. A 3-week-old girl, 4-year-old boy, and 17-year-old girl were medevaced to Oahu for treatment. 2 others were taken to the Hilo Benioff Medical Center in serious condition. The driver of the truck was also medevaced to Oahu in serious condition. He was arrested on multiple charges, including suspicion of driving under the influence, negligent homicide, and reckless driving. This was the 19th traffic fatality on Hawaii Island this year, compared to 25 at the same time last year. If you witnessed the crash or have any information, you're asked to contact police. And new details on the response to the deadly fire that destroyed a historic Hilo hotel early Wednesday. The Hawaii County Fire Department says more than half of the building was in flames when they arrived at the Wild Ginger Hotel, and parts of the building had already collapsed. Firefighting began immediately, but search efforts were delayed by active burning and damage. One person was later found dead inside the structure. A person who had been unaccounted for has been found uninjured. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The man accused of shooting a federal officer in the hand during a standoff this week had his first court appearance waived yesterday. Court documents reveal Robert Melvin Morris was taken to a hospital after getting ill. He's been in federal custody since he surrendered to police at around 1 in the morning Wednesday. Officers say he barricaded himself with a woman inside a Kapahulu home while agents were executing a search warrant. We want to take you live now to St. Louis School, where they are holding a vigil of solidarity to show support for Kamehameha schools after a federal lawsuit was filed challenging Kamehameha's 140-year-old admissions policy, which gives preference to Native Hawaiian children. St. Louis school leaders say both institutions were born from a deep love for children of these islands. They say about 60% of their students are of Hawaiian ancestry and have been beneficiaries of Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop's legacy through Kamehameha School's financial support. Well, it's day 24 of the government shutdown, which looks set to continue for at least several more days and likely longer. And with every passing day, more and more Americans are feeling the pain of the shutdown. Erica Brown has more from Capitol Hill.
Today was supposed to be payday for many federal employees. Instead, some received a pay stub showing $0.
We are really feel for the 750,000 or so people who aren't getting their paychecks.
That includes essential workers still on the job without pay, like TSA agents and air traffic controllers. And the impact on travel is being felt with flight delays at airports around the country.
A lot of people are here and they're not getting treated as they should, and it makes the experience more stressful, probably less safe.
Raising the stakes, federal funding for food assistance for millions of Americans is set to run out in just over a week, with Republicans and Democrats trading blame.
If Democrats continue to hold Americans hostage, there will not be enough funds to provide SNAP benefits for more than 40 million Americans on November 1st.
The Trump administration has the resources now, including through an emergency contingency fund that has about $5 billion in it, to ensure that not a single American goes hungry.
With no signs of progress to end the stalemate on Capitol Hill, Americans are stepping up to make sure no one goes hungry.
I am just so overwhelmed that everybody's like pulling together.
Cindy Reed, the owner of Del Rancho, a restaurant in Mustang, Oklahoma, is offering free meals.
If you have a federal ID showing that, then bring that. If you have a SNAP card, bring that.
Food banks are also in overdrive, trying to keep up with rapidly increasing demand. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Here at home, Volcano's National Park is still open during the government shutdown, but some visitors say they didn't see any park rangers during last Friday's eruption that saw record-breaking double fountains that reached nearly 1,500 feet. Honolulu resident Rob Young says his group got about 200 yards from the fountains, and many others went past the cable barriers.
It was quite shocking how close we were able to get to the actual fountaining. And had that wind changed, it could have been literally raining fire on us.
Non-essential workers are furloughed, so our emails got an auto reply. The U.S. Geological Survey said websites displaying real-time data needed for health and safety will be updated with limited support. And the National Park Service website said in part, some park services may be limited or unavailable. Are you AI literate? As our tech world evolves, understanding artificial intelligence could be a lifesaver. Ben Gutierrez spoke to experts about the potential uses of AI, both good and bad.
Is this actually me about to grind the entire Honolulu rail? Or is this something that was generated by AI?
Well, it's definitely not me. This also isn't me.
A snowstorm has hit Waikiki, so it's time to turn in your surfboard for a snowboard. And I'll catch you on the slopes of Diamond Head.
Anyone can create deepfakes or fun videos of literally anything they want.
AI consultant and educator Gabriel Yanagihara made those videos using Veil, which also generated this fake photo of me on the Coco Head tracks with a bunch of cats. Yanagihara has also used the app Sora to come up with things like a Hawaiian monk seal on a trampoline or fake graduation lei of various materials.
First up, we got the University of Waimanalo with a freshly caught taco lei.
Right now, you can really tell when something is AI generated, mostly because the people, the way they're using it is to illustrate the absurd.
Longtime content creator, coach, and vlogger Sean Boyd has also been having fun with Sora.
Last drive killed us. Can't believe it. We worked all week for this. Feels like we got robbed out here.
But he also sees AI technology improving public safety by visualizing data from tsunami buoys or incoming hurricanes.
If you can physically show them what this will look like once it rages through Waimanalo, maybe people will pay attention and they'll get out of there, or they'll be prepped better.
Unfortunately, AI tools have also been used to manipulate videos of public figures and trick people into thinking their loved ones will be harmed unless they send money.
We have to be really aware and really critical of the kind of media that we're consuming, because we now know that anything can be faked. The one thing I say families should take away from this is to have some sort of code word or check phrase that you do with loved ones if you see a video of them calling you asking for money or for a social security number or something like that.
International groups are now working to develop ethical guidelines for AI. Organizations like the Raspberry Pi Foundation and Digital Promise are helping schools teach AI literacy. And the U.S. Congress is moving closer to mandating public awareness campaigns.
Having, valid sources of information that you go back to and you second guess and you double check your sources and everything is going to be something we're going to have to develop.
But for now, it's a creative outlet for people like Yanagihara, who also came up with this AI video.
First, you gotta have one good idea. AI is just one tool, like your dad when he rolls up in his brand new 2005 lifted Yoda.
I'm the real Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Ben. Ahead on This Is Now, New York Attorney General Letitia James pleads not guilty to fraud charges brought by President Trump's Justice Department. Plus, we are less than 2 hours away from Game 1 of the World Series, and 2 mid-pack baseball alums are right in the mix. We break down the historic local connections. Welcome back. New York's top prosecutor, Letitia James, faced a judge in Virginia where she was arraigned on mortgage fraud charges. The development comes after President Trump included James in a list of political opponents he would like to see prosecuted. Bradley Blackburn has more.
New York Attorney General Letitia James emerged from federal court in Virginia moments after pleading not guilty to mortgage fraud charges.
But this is not about me. This is about all of us and about a justice system which has been weaponized.
President Trump's handpicked U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan indicted James earlier this month on 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of making a false statement to a lending institution over a home James purchased in Norfolk back in 2020.
There's no fear today. No fear. Because I believe that justice will rain down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
She's a horrible, horrible human being, and I think she's a total crook.
Prosecutors allege James made a false claim to the bank to secure a better mortgage rate, saying the property would be a second home when she actually rented it out.
He wants to see accountability for those who abuse their office and abuse their power, and Letitia James absolutely did that.
In court Friday, James' attorneys indicated they will seek to have the case tossed out during a hearing next month on several grounds, including vindictive prosecution.
The defense's strategy is going to be to knock this indictment out before it ever sees the light of day before a jury. From the prosecution side, I think their strategy here is just to move this ahead as quickly as they can.
James has called the charges against her retribution for bringing a civil lawsuit against the president, who was found liable for fraud. Her legal team argues Halligan, Trump's former personal attorney, was unlawfully appointed and lacked authority to pursue the case. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
It's finally the day. The World Series begins at 2 p.m. Hawaii time today between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays. And as our Mark Carpenter reports, each team has a connection with Mid-Pacific Baseball.
I've never gone to a World Series, so yeah, it's kind of, I guess kind of like on your bucket list that you don't really make a bucket list, but that would be on it if I had one.
Ground ball, base hit center field. Bottom of the order, doing it again for the Blue Jays. Tying one aboard in the seventh.
And imagine that. Longtime Hall of Fame coach Dun Muramaru's first ever World Series features two of his former players. 2007 Mid-Pacific alum Will Ireton and 2013 state champion Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. IKF, now in his 8th Major League season, is also the first Owl to play for a world title. The usually stoic Muramaru has been on pins and needles throughout this October playoff run.
It's like, come on, you got to get a hit. Because he came up one time with the bases loaded and he flew out to right. Oh, darn. You know, and you kind of like when parents watch their kid play, it's kind of like that, like, oh, come on, get a hit just, one time. And we're just cheering for him. I mean, it's like, we know him, so he got to do good.
Ohtani, did he? Ohtani! Ohtani has done it again!
Meantime, Ireton is the right-hand man for the biggest superstar in the sport, working as Shohei Ohtani's interpreter over the last year and a half.
We want it as a team, and this is really a team effort. So.
It turns out he started honing that critical skill while at Mid-Pacific when he helped translate for 3 transfer players from Japan.
Like, I wanted to talk story with those guys, and we acted like an interpreter. So, like, I can say that I prepared him for this job now. And it was really neat because he interpreted for me about, when they would be talking and stuff. He's just a good-natured person. Just a good, he would be a really good teammate.
Muramaru is flying out to Los Angeles this weekend to attend Game 3 at Dodger Stadium. He initially didn't plan on going, but a few of his other former players came up clutch.
Some of our alumni guys, they got together, chipped in, and then they, one of them was Dane Fujinaka at HPU. He told me, I think one morning, he said, "Hey, Coach, what are you doing next week?" I go, "Oh, nothing, I guess." Then the next thing I know, he's texting me, go, "Coach, you're going to the World Series, Game 3. I'm like, what? I'm freaking out, like, wow.
Flights, lodging, and game tickets all covered to witness a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. 2 players from the same school who played for the same coach, sharing baseball's grandest stage.
To me, it's just, wow, it's pretty neat. And I think it's more like luck that 2 guys, the 2 teams, But I'm cheering for Isaiah. Like, Will, he's just an interpreter, right? Isaiah, he's the real thing. So we're cheering for him. Like I don't care who wins. It's like, as long as Isaiah does good.
Mark Carpenter, Hawaii News Now.
And again, the game is at 2 p.m. Hawaii time. I don't know how we're going to get any work done today. Let's take a live look outside again with the Kahala cam. You can see those palm trees and the camera itself shaking on this first alert weather day. We do have a red flag warning up for most of the state. Guy Hagi is going to have your full forecast in 2 minutes.
First Alert Weather with Guy Huggy.
Aloha on this Friday. It is a first alert weather day because of this red flag warning, which is posted today through tomorrow for the strong winds, the low humidity levels, and the critical fire conditions that those things kind of produce. So heads up on that. Now, rain would be the ultimate remedy, right? But we don't have a lot of rain. In fact, a drier air mass is moving in. However, there will be some stray showers from time to time. There will be light. They'll be moving through rather quickly, and that won't produce a lot of rainfall totals. They will be on the light side, and leeward sides will remain mostly dry with another dry air mass moving in. And the winds will be stepping up. They're not that strong just yet, but they'll be blowing upwards of 30 miles an hour. And some spots, especially for the east end of the state, could get wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour. Remember, there is a wind advisory posted for parts of Maui County, parts of Hawaii Island, so they'll get roughed up today. So today's going to be a breezy day. Today the rainfall will be minimal, and again there is that critical fire conditions that are developing across the state for leeward areas. Now, as far as the surf, it's on the way down. The high surf advisory has been tossed out. Still got some solid waves though, more out of the northwest. So it's not a great swell. Not every spot's working well, but still very, very big out there and dangerous to a large extent. And still elevated surf over on the east side, but the deal there is that conditions will be very, very choppy. So we've got these first alert weather conditions today and tomorrow with the breezy winds, with the drought conditions, and with the low humidity levels. Now that should be easing up as we come into Sunday, when a slightly more moist air mass moves in, and we could see even more windward and Mauka showers, and the winds will ease up significantly on Wednesday.
Thank you, Guy. Still to come, a brazen robbery at a shoe store in Florida is being described as something out of the movies. We have that story in 2 minutes. A brazen shoe heist at a Florida mall is being described by authorities as something right out of Mission Impossible. Jeremy Roth shows us.
Officials in Florida are looking for answers in what's being described as a movie-style heist that netted burglars an estimated $40,000 in athletic sneakers. Images shared by the Martin County Sheriff's Office shows dozens of shoe boxes left on the roof of a mall in Jensen Beach after they say suspects cut in through the concrete roof into a shoe store below and stole some 400 to 500 pairs of new athletic footwear.
They went after the high-dollar shoes, Nikes, New Balance, and those Air Jordan Nikes.
By the way, yes, the sheriff did call the Nikes Nikes, but calm down, it may be some kind of regional pronunciation. After all, some upstate New Yorkers have been known to call hamburgers steamed hams. Not in Utica, of course, it's more of an Albany expression. Where was I? Oh, right, the shoes. The sheriff described the elaborate burglary as well organized, likening it to something out of a heist movie.
Appears to be right out of Mission Impossible.
And while there may not have been MI-level acrobatics involved, for now it was enough for these fleet-of-foot shoe thieves to get away without getting caught. Speaking of caught, that's the heartbreaking sound of a poor puppy that got caught between a rock and a hard place, another rock, in California. CAL FIRE officials responded after they say the poor baby was found trapped between the boulders by her owner. The crew used ropes, hoses, and pressurized airbags to move the massive boulders just enough so the stuck pup, named Zoe, was able to be safely lifted from the cramped spot. Thanks to the crew's efforts, Zoe emerged unscathed, a little older, and a little wiser. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
And finally, tonight, HPD will hold the graduation of its 217th recruit class, which is also the largest recruit class it has had in recent years. It'll start at 6 p.m. at the Moanalua High School Performing Arts Center. Our police force is growing by 21. That's 17 men and 4 women. You can watch the ceremony live on HPD's YouTube page. And by the way, the active 219th class includes 40 recruits, began training on October 20th of this year with a scheduled graduation day of May in 2026. Thanks for watching, everybody.